All right, I'm back. So today I want to work where I left off, and essentially I want to show what happened throughout this all this time that I was offline. So you can see there's currently 140 changes that I have uh, mm, that I have. All right, and most of them are related to the rules. I've been changing rules quite drastically, so currently, I actually will prepare another chat just to show the workflow. Right, so I'll ask it to read. I also started using auto mode because it seems to be working quite good. I saw it been blocking some requests, which I would have blocked myself as well. So I thought, well, it is working good, and that's what I need. So I'll continue using it. All right. And besides that, right, it is reading all the skills just so I can show how everything is structured. But essentially, oh, I forgot. This lab skill needs to be applied in the very end of the pipeline. So yeah, I need to add, I'll just add it. This lab skill needs to be added to the end of the pipeline. Okay. So that's that. And then again, as before, I have a where is it, like a ship feature along with a quick fix. So those are the two main entry points that I'll be using in order to create any in order to do any modifications to this current code base. Besides that, I also have added an audit specs skill. Essentially what it does is that it um, audits specs skills, specifically a solutions architect and a business analyst. Right, then I also added ERD designer skill that is essentially preparing a mermaid um, ERD diagram uh, for um, for the rest of the pipeline. Then I also prepared the project summarizer. So what it does is that it checks the entire project, it summarizes it and outputs all the features that were already implemented on the project that is needed by business analyst and solutions architect. So that way they don't need to recrawl the entire code base itself because it is quite token heavy operation. Then I also added review code skill, which combines inside of itself maintainability and performance, and maintainability, performance, rules, and security skills. I also would need later to combine review requirements and review architecture into one skill review specs. But nowadays, review all is running review code along with these two skills that weren't changed. Then also did a lot of modifications to those skills. So what essentially I want to achieve is that I want to have them run completely without me. The only two entry points for me in this entire operations is first of all specifying the requirements by talking to business analysts. Before that, the business analyst would have asked only one page of requirements, which would be like 8 questions. Now it is going to nurture me for every single edge case, and I'm not sure how many questions is it gonna ask. So I would have to experiment and see and adjust um, the threshold for amount of questions for business analysts. But then from there, everything is picked up by the um, by solutions architect. All right, by solutions architect, and then it goes from there to the to designers, and then from there to development, and then reviewer. Okay, and then um, summarize everything for me here in chat of what is the current pipeline specifically for ship feature. How does it look like? Okay, and in parallel, I'm currently running a review of the code on the current pipeline, on the current changes that I have. Last time I asked it to implement um, to implement like aiding. I actually want to check if it still works after all of those changes. So I have localhost here. It doesn't work. It's currently lagging a little bit. I don't like that. But nonetheless, it is compiling, which is taking a lot of time. Oh wow, it is looking just really bad. But anyway, let's try it. So, oh yeah, I cannot show it, but oh yeah, I actually can show it. So it kind of applied this design, which I guess I requested, and I'm having trouble remembering whether I actually requested anything like that. But anyway, it's kind of looking like a game, I think, or maybe I'm not sure where would you even use this kind of UI. Honestly, I'm not sure, but I'll go with that. I don't really care that much. Um, yeah. Anyway, that's what we have right now. So last time I implemented the onboarding. Oh well, more of like I asked agents to implement the onboarding for me, right? And that time I want to continue with Leads CRM. So what I want to have this time is that specifically, different columns and stuff like that, and then add button here. Okay, so that's the only thing I want to have today. Um, okay, so let's get back to one of the chats here. So again, the pipeline is project summarizer starts, it prepares the docs project.md, then business analyst picks up, then solutions architect picks up, then spec review loop. It reviews 5 times with a cap of 5 times, and in case anything needs to change, there are update requirements and update architecture skills. I'm not used to talk that much and so frequently. Then there's ERD designer, which is preparing a Mermaid ERD. In case there is no database changes, it no ops. Then there's a UX designer that is preparing wireframes inside of the markdown files. Then there is a UI designer that is preparing the design.md plus Perut component designs, and it should provide me variants in HTML that I can open and see how is it going to look like. The last time it didn't do that, so I expected to do this time, but we'll see. Oh, and before I actually begin anything, I wanted to add one more skill here to review UX and UI designers' work specifically. Then there's backend developer that's developing all the information. I mean, all the endpoints, DTOs, schema, and migrations. Then there is a front-end developer that is developing pages, components, hooks, and forms. And it skips in case there is no front. And then there's backend tester that is implementing unit tests and integration tests, specifically for endpoints. Then there's a front-end tester that does all of that. And then there's a code fix loop, right? Which means that um, um, we no, not we, but the AI agent is going to run review all. Well, hold up. Why do I even need review all? I don't think I need review all at this point at all. Do I need review all? I don't think I need it because I don't remember where it could be used actually. But anyway, that's the idea. And for some reason, my Mac is running like crazy again. I think I would need to look into OBS configuration because it is using a lot of my CPU for some reason. 500% of the CPU. I'm not sure why. Why would it do something like that? And it's not the render. It's not the GPU. It's just using a lot of CPU power for some reason. Anyway, I'll have to look into that later. I'll just add a note for myself. And my Mac is flying right now. And I don't like that. Anyway, yeah, let's go back here. So this one no longer needed. Okay, so what I actually need is to add a new skill with concise instructions, an audit gate for reviewing UX designer output and for reviewing UI designer output. It should be integrated into ship feature skill as part of reviewing the work done by the skills before letting user review variants UI designer skill have prepared. So there's name for that skill as clarifying questions with answer options. Yeah, let's do that. I also need to check what review code came up with. Okay, so files changed, regression, found a review, one medium remaining, async waterfall, request time DB hub, custom session callback runs Prisma user settings find unique on every auth API get session. This requires the normalized onboarding complete add onto the user table. Schema call change out of quick fix scope recommend ship feature or update architecture. How much context do I have? Okay, I've used 250,000 tokens worth of context. I guess I'll have to wrap it up nicely, the async waterfall issue into a prompt that I can run through another agent, but make it short and concise. So you can see that the review code actually took 36 minutes, and that's a lot. Like, if you ask me, that's a lot. And it also consumed 25% of the context, which is also a lot. But we'll have to deal with it later. So every time I'm basically restarting Claude, eliminate the per request DB hopping. And because I'm running it without ship feature or anything like that, I'll have to. Oh shit. Can I undo that? I guess I cannot. Okay. Well, I wanted to review those changes, but I guess that's fine at this point. I've been reviewing a lot of files recently, like 150 of them. I actually reviewed all of them. Oh, it's 120. But anyway, 20 of them are skills, I guess, so it's just 100. Over exaggerated a little bit, but anyway, that's fine. Alright, so clarifying questions, coverage, one skill or two. One skill audit in both wireframes, design browse, audit specs. I think 1A. Okay, placement. Actually, now that I think about this, actually we'll do like that. Let's cancel that. Let's start it all over again. And then I want to say ship feature. I wanted to go through. Actually, quick fix I think is the right way to do that. Anyway, let's continue. So, place manager feature, when does it run? Once after UX designer, before UI designer, all these wireframes only design doesn't exist yet. Twice, once after UX designer, once after UI designer finishes, including the user pick. Once after both mid UI designer, between the three directions, inventory and HTML variant render. I guess C is the one I need. Fix loop pattern. Mirroring spec review loop, same as audit specs. Fix same as audit specs. Audit cap Halson cap. Yeah, I think 3A. Same pattern but cap 3. One shot audit. Okay, now 4. What to check? What to check? Quality, traceability, wireframes, trace to architecture, AC mandated states, present. I think A is fine. Did I say that it needs to be concise? Okay. Output format, same as audio specs, concrete fixes to wireframes, changes, design changes, fuzzy items, advisory, in chat, boundary, final line. 5A, okay. Ask any clarifying questions left. I said ask any clarifying questions left. Okay, so that's where we're going to go with it. Actually, I can check it right now. My OBS at some moments are using 500% of my CPU power. Right, my Mac is 8 gigabytes 2022. It's a MacBook Pro, and I'm not sure what is happening. What is the reason behind it? How can I troubleshoot it? Inside of Activity Monitor, it just says that it is OBS process, not a renderer. So I'm not even sure what is going on. In CPU dashboard, it is showing that it is using 50% of the CPU. And I'm streaming in 9020. Well, it is 1080p with 30 FPS bitrate. Give a concise answer and research the information about it online. Ask any clarifying questions. It's interesting because the more I prompt it, the more requirements I have in the end. Like, for example, I want to know only a concise answer, and I might check here as well as style concise. So I might not even need to say something like that. But if I don't say that you need to research the information online, it's gonna just use its own knowledge to understand, well, models own knowledge. Well, I'm not sure what kind of information they have and how they pull up information. That's something I need to dive into to understand. But if I don't say something like that, then it will just start using the old information that is outdated. And the same thing for asking any clarifying questions. If I don't add something like that, then it would just start guessing, because that's ultimately the way it was. The way the model was trained is that you need to give an answer. It was never trained to ask questions, because people might get upset with that. The entire purpose of the LM is to give you answers, right? And asking questions is counterintuitive to this entire training of this model, is that it doesn't make sense for it to ask questions, because then it would be using more context window, right? And that's against its rules. So that's why I always ask any clarifying questions, otherwise it would be start guessing what even I'm talking about, right? All right, so we have 4 questions left. What does the audit see at the mid-UI designer checkpoint? Wireframes plus the 3 directions require UI designer to persist directions to attempt scratch path first so the audit can read them. Wireframes only at the mid checkpoint. Design audit drops from scope. First, let's have the UI designer fully complete their work, even producing the variants, and then audit happens. In case there are any changes, the agent produces the changes documents, and then update skills are updating the documents that were created before. Okay, so that's 1. 2. How does ship feature mark the audit mid skill? Split UI design into 2 halves. Ship feature runs. UI designer itself invokes the audit and turn the other answered in number 1. 3. Fix loop at this checkpoint. Update design has nothing to edit if design files that don't exist. Answered in number 1. 4A. Should be invocable by directly referencing the skill or by ship feature. Actually, what I missed is the name audit design. Wait, where is it? Audit design, parallels, audit specs, or fields overlap. Okay. I actually need to approve the name. I forgot to do that. Audit design sounds good. Audit design name sounds good. And now I need to add one more thing that I forgot. And now I have to go back to do that. Actually, I also need to pull up my stickers so that I can see where's my camera, so I know not to show anything in here. Okay, so I know what part of the screen is not visible on the stream specifically. All right, anyway, so what I'll need to add is ask any clarifying question with answer options. That's what I needed. Okay, meanwhile, what? Obvious. That's funny. Obvious, okay. Obvious. That's funny. All right. 95%. No, I said 5%. Oh, 50, I mean. Whatever. Okay. Let's see. So this one is editing everything. I kind of wonder if that is gonna be able to produce a decent output, but we're about to see. And this one, I'm just curious, how is it going to work? Okay, so 3 remaining questions. Okay, let's start with the first one. How behavior in ship feature when cap 5 hits without convergence? How behavior in ship feature when cap 5 hits without convergence? Oh, I got it. Okay. Hold the pipeline, warn plus continue to backend developer. I think A to confirm the audit checklist. How am I supposed to confirm it? Wireframes files exist. Traces too. It's mandated. Vocabulary matches arc verbatim. Okay, I don't care about it. 3. Severity to changes file routing a mirror audit specs. Severity concrete fixes name replacement. Wireframes design changes fuzzy items advisor in chat only loop converges when both files have only changes header advisor doesn't block. That sounds good. The way I want the pipeline to work is that once the UX designer and UI designer finish with their changes, there is a review happens before me, and then in case any changes needed, it invokes update update skills. I'm not sure if they exist already for UI designer and UI and UX designer skills, but they should exist. In case they don't, they need to be created with concise instructions. But the main point is that there would be only 2 places where my input will be needed. The first one is after the business analyst, which is outside of this scope completely, and then the second one is after the variants by UI designer were produced for me to check. But before I even check anything, I want to have AI agent actually review everything for me, and then if something isn't right, iterate until all the changes converge. Okay, and then I need to add that one here. Still didn't fully recover. It's a little bit hard to speak. So this one it researched, but I don't see any answer. Okay, I'll just copy it and I'll start again. It seems like it broke completely. So my OBS at some moments during the stream is using 500% of my CPU power. Right? That's funny. My MacBook Pro is 18-bit 22, and I'm not sure what has happened. What is the reason behind it? How can I troubleshoot it? Inside of Activity Monitor, it just says that it is the OBS process. There was actually another process. I forgot the name of it. There's OBS. Can you show me everything? Interesting. OBS FF MPEG. What does that mean? Okay. So it just says that it is OBS process not to render or GPU. So I'm not even sure what is going on. And the CPU dashboard of OBS, it is showing that it is using 50% of the CPU, and I'm streaming at 1080p with a 30 fps bitrate. I also have a recording during the stream option on, and I am using a source record plugin. I'm not sure if that makes a difference. It seems like it is completely missing the first word that I say. I also have a recording on during the stream. Oh, recording during the stream option on, and I'm using a source recording plugin. I'm not sure if that makes a difference. Alright, let's run it. Now let's see. Okay, 3 more questions again. Like it is the 4th round, I think, of questions, and I still cannot understand what I mean. I guess it's just hard to understand me at this point. So 3 things need pinning down. UI designers clarifying questions. Third, user gate. Step 2 currently asks audience tone, brand, density, boldness. To honor your only 2 input gates rule, strip them. Audit scope and design files don't exist yet. Wireframes, persona scaffold require UI designer to write direction concept. B1, I didn't care. What does update design fix in a loop at this stage? So what kind of skills do I actually have? So I have update wireframes. Oh, and I have update design. So it actually exists. Okay. Edits the early design scaffolding paired with B1 after the pick UI designer writes per route plus per component files from the audited scaffold. Update design. This checkpoint loop runs update wireframes only. I think it's C1 as well. But I also had a question to it first. Encoder. I'm not sure what encoder am I using. Where do I find it actually? Oh, X264. Which source recording plan? I don't remember. Source record is the name. Okay, let's get back. So that, but I don't remember what kind of question I had. Oh, right. Um, I think, yeah. I also will need to talk to you in order to populate. Wait, maybe it is already populated. I don't remember. Sure. Yeah, design style non-negotiable. Output shape. Root component file path rules, token conventions, file handling. Okay, to populate shared, well, actually, docs branding.md, and then use it inside of the UI designer and update design files. Essentially, that would be the file that would supply the designer, UI designer, with branding and colors and everything that I need. All right. So this one is finally finishing. Have to fix review loop, and I guess that's done. Oh yeah, auto fix review loop. So it's essentially like running in circle right now, fixing everything. And while it is doing that, I wanted to see what it did. Yeah, so it did a migration, alter table add, alter table delete, drop, and then it moved everything from settings, I guess, to auth, to the user itself. Okay. All right, so that's that. Um, so that's that. Let's see. Oh my God, it has more questions. Shit. I don't need branding skill. I need that file populated only once, and that's it. Once in a lifetime. Skip if it exists with Brandon lock in the palette plus points for that. And guidelines should be inherited from the current Tailwind config and UI components. Output shape, draft these sessions, brand identity. Let me dictate. Interesting. Okay. So this one is finalizing everything. Okay. This one is still working on it. It's taken more time than I expected, actually, which I didn't expect. Okay, so here's what is going on and how to fix it. Why you're seeing 500% CPU usage on ADB is the main culprit. X264 is software encoding. It runs entirely on CPU cores. M2 has a dedicated hardware encoder. Source record doubles the encoding load. Well, it's actually triples because I have two sources. 8 GB RAM creates memory pressure. Apple VT-H264 set source code to Apple VT hardware 2. Check TTM for memory pressure while streaming memory tab. Look at the colored graph at the bottom. Colored graph. And how am I supposed to understand what the colored graph actually means? Anyway, disable the IPS preview when streaming. Right click preview, disable preview. We can try it. Log preview. I don't see disable preview actually. I don't see it. Well, well, obviously. Okay. All right, I'll look into this. Yeah, wow. OBS alone is using 3 gigabytes of memory. That's crazy. I don't even have that many. That's funny. 8 gigabytes is definitely not enough for a MacBook nowadays. It's just not enough. You wanna stream, the stream uses at least 3 gigabytes. You wanna do Next.js, another 3 gigabytes. And then you only have RAM for just opening a Google Chrome at this point. All right, what we have. Okay, so that's good. Again, my Mac is starting to fly. I don't care that much. So I'll have to review it later, even though I see that it is kind of fine. Better auth. Additional fields onboarding completed. Add. Custom session not needed. That's good. Onboarding service. Eesh. I'm not sure. I guess that might be just my TypeScript going crazy. Yeah, I guess it was the problem. Okay. Tests, I don't care. About tests, the main point is that they exist, I guess. That's how people treat them anyway. Branding is not part of it. Not part of it. Audit design. I think it already started implementing it. No, yeah, it started. Okay, then Auth Prisma. Fine settings. Fine user settings repository removed. Migration. Fine user settings. Test. Fine. Fine. Okay, so that's fixed. All right. Now I can finally push the changes. I mean, yeah. So I guess lead CRM is not coming today because maybe it is. I'm not sure. But first, I wanted to finish that. Then let's see later on this. So this one, I got my answer. Do I need review all? I'll ask right now. This slope I'll run myself right now. I can actually do this in one step right now. Once it finalizes everything. Also, I'm not quite sure how. One second. If I can even unstage these files, it just feels risky. No. Yep. So if I unstage this file, is it going to restore it? No. Okay. So that's good. So then I can just unstage everything and stage only packages, apps, and git ignore, I guess. Later I'll need to delete that crap, and then Claude will go into a separate file. Okay, and then so it update design. Okay, because at this point I just figured out that I wouldn't be able to even review anything what it is doing right now. That was a mistake on my side. Oh, also I'm not sure if I told you, but I removed agent browser. The reason is because in the last stream when I started actually with it, it took 40 minutes to test acceptance criteria. So I decided to scrap it completely, and I was like, no, I don't need that anymore. What else? Maintainability. The code was just looking bad, I can say like that. So I did some maintainability points to check for, specifically these four. I didn't add dry or solid principles because apparently I don't need dry. I more need like wet principles according to the AI agent that I spoke with, because dry means that you don't repeat yourself, and that means that there would be a lot of scaffolding code created along the way as AI agent writes this code, and as such it might create a lot of different places, a lot of different functions and classes that aren't really needed, and solid principles are more like OOP, right? And that's not something I need. Well, for web development overall, I'm not sure why we would need classes and stuff like that besides the API itself, because API is currently just OOP, right? But web design is not. Okay, so let's close that. Okay, and there was something. Oh, right, and triage review. Last time I was figuring out what is it. Like I've created it. Well, I've created it with the help of AI, and it just asked me, "Do you need triage review?" I was like, "Yeah, plug it in." And I didn't really understood the purpose of it. But then after some time, after like 2 days of playing around with it, I understood the purpose of it. It was essentially to review everything that was done in this run. And I figured out that I don't really need that. I need more like gates at this point. After specs are done, I also need a gate after design is done, and then I need a gate once the whole development finished. Right. So that's that. Okay, so it finally finished. And then the next question I have, the next question is, do I even need review all skill at this point? It feels like it was needed before and now it is not going to be used at all. Like the requirements are reviewed in a separate run, so it doesn't make sense to review them in the very end of the ship feature pipeline at all. Okay, let's send that, and then the last one will be the adding DSLOP to the ship feature pipeline, and I think that it would be ready because I've spent already so much time on this pipeline that it is just ridiculous. And in case it doesn't work, then I'm not sure what will. But yeah, I'll still keep it improving because there is a lot of to improve in my opinion. But let's see. Oh right, so it is remove and review all. GG review all skill. Is it used anywhere else? If not, then let's remove it. Alright. No AI slop. Okay, so we are at 80%. That looks good. Now I'll run Claude. Again, I need a commit name. I don't want to be creating it myself. I don't remember what was it all about. Alright, so what it is doing right now, large diff, yeah, it is large. It's reading all the files, even though these ones shouldn't be in a diff. Yeah, I should have only run it for the stage files. I guess I'll have to update the skill a little bit. Okay, let's stop it then. Let's clear it. Update commit name skill instructions to no, with concise instructions. I needed to check whether there are any staged changes. If there are, then it should create a commit name only for staged changes. Otherwise, it should create, if there are no stage changes, then it needs to create a commit name for everything that is currently changed in a git status. Git status. It sounds really weird, but anyway. Okay, removed review all. Okay, so then the last point is I need you to add a DSLOP skill once the entire pipeline for ship feature or quick fix is done. Essentially, these lobs should run in the very end of those pipelines. Ask any clarifying questions with answer options. DLC, come on, it should be this lob. How? Okay. DLC. That's funny. Okay. So this one asked us 3 questions. Let's see. So when state changes exist, how should untracked files be treated? Ignore them entirely. Yep. Should the output mention which scope was used? No. Unstaged warning. If there are unstaged changes alongside stage changes, should we warn about them? Nope. Alright. So that's why I'm asking this question. Like, it is just so majestic because otherwise the AI would have guessed and would have picked on its own, and that's not what I need. Alright, so the next agent is ready. So what do we have? For this lob, re-verify after this lob. 1C, 2. If verify breaks 3 pipeline summary line for this lob. Yes, new tail line about ship feature and quick fix final summaries. Actually, I like that. Alright. So this one was updated. Let's try it. So what I have again here only Claude and these changes, packages and git ignore. Git ignore can actually be removed from that. Okay, let's try it. Commit name. Let's see what it is gonna come up with. So this description is really long, but I guess that's fine. All right. What else do we got? This one I'll create a bookmark for it. I mean, I'll be finishing up the stream in like 5 minutes. It was productive. I really like that finally everything is finished. In the very end of this stream, I guess I'll have everything committed, and I'll probably start with the CRM thing. Right, okay, so this lab is integrated. I don't need it anymore. I just need to finish for that one to come up with a commit name for me. And then once I committed all of those changes, I'll start working on the new thing. Actually, I wanted to check branding. TBD. Wait, hold up. Path. Logo. Path. Oh, there is no logo. That's right. You didn't have to mention that. Brand identity, name, tagline. That's right. It isn't available. I have no idea what to call this project. I was thinking to call it actually like founder something. Like founder. Oh shit, I actually just noticed that. It's hard to see me. In the very end of the stream, I noticed that. But anyway, like founder case or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I'll think about the name. I have no idea how to call it yet. But just in an hour. Oh, it actually finished. But yeah, wow. This is really. Oh, okay. So that's the name, and then that was the description. Come on. a name, and let's add a y. It's not needed. Okay, let's do like that. Add onboarding wizard and split settings into per domain routes or routes. Oh shit, I just understood that I cannot copy it reliably. Yeah, I cannot copy that. I would have to stick with my shenanigans. So I usually do like that. Then actually I replace new line with the space, and then I replace yet again replace um, two spaces with just one space, and that way I get my commit name, because I cannot copy from here. That is super annoying. Anyway, let's try it and see if it works. I'm kind of curious. And also I haven't committed in a long time, so that's definitely gonna be needed. And I hope, oh, it went through. Okay, so that's nice. And now, so yeah, let's finish that one. Let's start again. So 44 files changed. That's crazy. This is not needed anymore. Deployment step is the only thing remaining that I haven't worked on, but there's just simply because there is nowhere to deploy for me right now. So docs, architecture, overview, user onboarding, so that can be deleted. Architecture, design, no photography, design, direction, foundry, spacing base, unit 4 pixels, whatever. Requirements, title, okay, that can be deleted. Wireframes, I like that, by the way. By the way, it's just looking really cool. Can I go here? Okay, yeah, I like that. Components, business form, business name. Select a range. I like that. All right, cool. So, oh, actually, I forgot to remove that. So that's wireframes, and for design, there's the design is completely missing. That's what upset me a little bit for the previous run, and I hope it's gonna be fixed next time. Okay, commit name. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll start another chat. I'll move it here. Claude. Oh, I see. Claude again. All right, so I wanna start with the ship feature, right? Oh, and I need to explain what the feature is all about. Can I do like that? Can I remove that? And I want to implement Leads CRM, um, but only with add button for now, and a model that adds all the fields. Can you give me a prompt that I can run through another agent? Um, to recreate the Leads CRM. You don't need to mention colors or shapes, just the overall structure, omitting like filters, omitting, yeah, just filters. Okay. So, okay. So it should in theory output to me. Um yeah. I hope Cloud Design team actually start using their own product for themselves, because it is not looking good. It is hard to differentiate where was my message and where the agent actually responded. Oh wait, and there is no streaming. Did it just output everything as is? That's also not really good. Bum, 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 bum. Here's a problem you can hand to another agent. That's exactly what I'm going to do. All right. Okay. Let's commit expand skill pipeline with audit review loops and rule split. Whatever the name works for me. Okay. Commit. This is not needed anymore. As such, that one is not needed. That one is not needed as well. So let's run through it and let's see how is it gonna perform. It should actually research the code base, create project.md right now, and start asking me a lot of questions, right? Actually, we'll move it to the left side. Okay. So on that note, I'll pause there. It has been an hour now, and it is getting more getting harder to speak for me. But overall, during this stream, it was hard for me to speak. So I'll pause there, and I'll see you, I guess, on Thursday. Well, I'll see myself on Thursday because apparently there was no one watching today.